life wasn't going very well, and I basically changed my life completely in every single area of my life. Information and exercises from the last 6 years that I spent 10 hours per day on, and I all crammed it in 1 or 2 sentences. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Heredius, and today I want to talk about 13 ways. In the last 6 years, I went very deep in a lot of different areas, like spirituality, science, to get a deeper understanding of how life works. I also developed a lot of exercises for myself because my life wasn't going very well, and I basically changed my life completely in every single area of my life. I'm very grateful for that, and I now wanted to make a video to inspire other people to improve their own lives. There are basically 13 ways that from a lot of information and exercises from the last 6 years that I spent 10 hours per day on, and I all crammed it in 1 or 2 sentences. I do know in this video I will not go very deep in all of them, but I do think it gives a good overview of certain beliefs that can definitely benefit you in your life. It changed my life completely, and I now am at a point where I am ready to make a video about it. The first one is a really big one. It will also take a lot of practice. That one is to take 100% responsibility for your own life. You hear people saying that a lot, but I don't think people realize how deep that one goes. If you take 100% responsibility for every single thing in your life, then weird, or I want to say good things are gonna happen. They're gonna change your way of thinking. You will not be able anymore to be in a victim mentality mindset. You have no more anger towards other people, because if other people are angry or have a negative attitude towards you, it is never about you, because they have some experience from the past triggering them that you just did, and they are triggered, and they have then a sudden negative response towards you. So in essence, it had nothing to do with you. I fully know that it is easier said than done. I had quite some experiences where if it's a stranger just yelling at you, then you don't mind. But if it's your father or your mother or a very close friend of yours, then yes, it can get more difficult. Another one is, if you take 100% responsibility, you can't blame other people anymore. Because if you take 100% responsibility for yourself and for your actions, then you don't see any use anymore to blame other people. It's a very interesting change that happens with you. It also means that you decide which people you want to be surrounded with. And yes, that can mean that perhaps you will lose a lot of the people that you thought were good for you, but you realized they are not. That is the first one. If you have questions about these, or you want a video going much more in detail about certain things that I said, just put them in the comments and I will definitely look at them. One of the other ones that is very important and is also very difficult to practice in daily life is that you never take anything personal. And that refers back to the last thing I said, that if someone is negative towards you, you just did something that triggered that person, but that was because of a past traumatic experience that person had. If you're then not aware enough, the first response is anger or a negative response to you. But if you look at it from that perspective, then you lose the whole narrative, oh, it is me that caused that, if that makes sense. So yeah, it takes nothing personal. I know it takes practice, and I'm not saying go full narcissistic, but keep an open mind that you never know what other people go through in life, and that you just keep an open mind for that. The next one is a very simple one, yet I don't see a lot of people doing it. And I understand in certain circumstances it is not the easiest thing to do. And that is, if it gives a good feeling, keep doing it. If it doesn't give a good feeling, stop doing it. You may think that that's silly, of course I'm gonna do that. But look back on your life over the last few weeks or months. How many times did you do things that didn't give you a good feeling, but you still did them? That is something to create awareness with, and once you are getting more aware of it, you can try to do it less and less. Because I do believe that your personal energy is more priceless than any currency or anything else in the world. I do personally think your own energy that you have every day is the most valuable. And you decide, and nobody else, you decide how do you spend it, on what do you spend it. That it goes even deeper. It goes also in which thoughts do you want to think. I will definitely go in other videos deeper on that one. If it gives a good feeling, keep doing it. If it doesn't give a good feeling, stop doing it. With the feeling, I do mean the inner, deeper knowing. If you are in a bad alley, and there's a lot of crime in that area, or whatever it may be, and you get a bad feeling, it's not a good idea to go into that street. That type of bad feeling. And for the other side, well, if you get a good feeling, you get energy, you get clarity. Oh, that feels amazing. That type of good feeling, keep doing it. The next one is that you act out of inspired action. What I mean with that is I can clearly remember certain situations in my life where I suddenly got a thought or an idea or something that I wanted to do, and I got a lot of clarity and a lot of energy, and oh my god, that is amazing. I really want to do that. Wow, it's just thinking about it makes you smile. What most people then do is they don't do it. they say like, oh, I'm gonna do it later, or I'm gonna do it another day, or I'm gonna postpone it, and then you're gonna procrastinate, and then you're gonna regret you haven't done it. I, for one, I'm guilty for that. I procrastinated and postponed making these type of videos for 1 or 2 years because I was terrified, absolutely terrified to make them. I want to just make a video for an overview of all the, also call it universal principles that I follow, and I 100% believe them, I live them, they are part of me. They brought me a lot of expansion, joy, understanding, insight. The next one is, yes, that you start from abundance. What I mean with that is a lot of people, they act from scarcity mindset. For example, if you are in a relationship and you don't want to be alone, or you prefer to be in a toxic relationship than to be happy alone, or maybe you think that you will never find someone just like this, or you can not even imagine someone maybe even much better for you. So you decide to stick it out, and that, well, from my own experience and from what I see when I life coach people, it never ends well. It never ends well. It's also, for example, thinking out of abundance. If you have a lot of difficulty in spending money, that maybe you think there's not enough and you have to budget every single penny, and that you're worried that you're gonna lose it, and then you also get very negative feelings from that. Those negative feelings and thoughts really do a lot of harm. The next one is learn how to focus. We all like to spend our energy all over the place. We like to watch cat movies all the time, or we just want to do a lot of things. But what happens is we do a lot of things and we have the feeling that we are accomplishing a lot, but a lot of times, and maybe you've seen it in your own experience, you half-ass them. You don't complete them. They did not give the result that you were hoping for. And one of the things that brought me a lot of value and success and progression is to focus on one project. Just focus on that project, forget about all the rest, and just focus on that one project. It can be a project, it can be a way of living, it can be a certain diet for your health that you are following. It doesn't really matter what it is, just focus. The next one is a really big one, and it has more to do with spirituality, also with mindset. The thoughts that you have create your reality. You are what you think. I'm a big believer of this. You can truly change your complete life. For example, to decide that you are done being a victim, that you have the power to do or think whatever you want to do. And it is something that a lot of people tend to forget. They forget they have that power, that they can do those things that they always wanted to do, but are held back by fear or other lower vibration emotions. They just hold you back. You can actually change so much in your life by just trying to think about other thoughts than you normally think about. For example, if you want to have more financial success, think about the questions: what would a millionaire do? What would a millionaire think? How would he act? How would he do? Your decision making and even your circumstances in life are going to change. You will vibrate a different energy. Your thoughts create your reality. The next one is to be kind for yourself. To be kind for yourself, it's much harder than you would think. I have talked with people, for example, a girl that had some problems, but every single time she was saying like, "Oh, I'm so stupid. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, I'm so retarded. Oh, what the hell is this?" Even without her realizing that she was saying those things. When I reflected it back to her, she had no idea that she was saying those things. It was such an automated system that she had no idea that she was actually saying them out loud. And that can impact your energy levels or how you're gonna decide things or what you're gonna do. So creating awareness around that is a very good first step. When things go really bad, then just tell yourself, it's okay, I can do this. It will be okay. You don't know how or when, but it will be okay. The next one, I do practice also quite a lot. Be open for infinite possibilities. What do I mean with that? When I say infinite possibilities, for myself, it was very difficult to understand how the universe works. The universe gives you a lot of possibilities, well, infinite possibilities, according to your vibrational state. But what we like to do is to limit our options to one or two. A very good example is that, you want a relationship and you see someone and you like that person. And then what happens is a lot of people, or maybe you go to that girl and then you express how you feel and then it's not the same. So she rejects you and then you go completely destructive or in a negative state that, oh my god, my life is over, or I cannot do anything anymore. Like, she was the one, she was everything. There are infinite possibilities. For example, if you want to earn money, don't focus only on what one or two people say on YouTube. There are many possibilities. But what is much more important is what you love to do. Because I can guarantee you that if you do the thing that you love, absolutely love doing, money will come. It's really that simple. But the mistake people make is that you focus on making the money. That is your main goal. And irony of the universe, most of the times that doesn't work. Okay, next one. I learned from Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu is basically a person that wrote a book in Zen. What the mantra, I use it also always as a mantra, is you don't know. You actually don't know. You don't know the big picture or why certain things happen the way they happen. I use it more as a mantra, more as a meditation to when I'm in a stress mode or a panic mode. Or for example, this example with a girl, you liked a girl, you got rejected, and then you take it personal, and then, oh man, I'm so ugly, or oh, I can never get this right, nobody loves me. You don't know that. You have no idea what was going on. You well, basically you also don't have any idea which person is a good fit for you, in essence, universal speaking. But you don't know. For example, if you're stressed for an exam, and you practiced, you learned, you did the exam, and then afterwards you worry and you get stressed. This is horrible. You don't know that. It's also really good to get to a more humble state. You are really good in what you do. You don't know everything. There is always more to learn. There's always more to expand on. And there's always more to get insight on in your life, or to realize certain things. Next one is find your desires. Try to find something that you love doing. You have to do something that you want to do, that you also feel very alive with. And it's also a very healing aspect, in the sense that you do it for yourself. You spend a lot of time and you just lose yourself in the activity or that thing or whatever it may be, and you spend a lot of time with yourself. You don't do it for other people. It's better to be kind than to be right. If you look at it, if you just look at it, what does it mean? What is it to be right? It's mostly something that comes from the ego. We do it all the time. It's such a common thing to do in this world, that you see two students talking about something, and one of them wants to be right, or maybe even a spiritual teacher or coach or whatever wants to be right. But what in essence does it bring you? If you really look at it, it doesn't bring you anything except a short ego trip. But in essence, it doesn't do anything. But we do it all the time. All the time. It gave me a lot of joy and peace when I decided to let that go. It doesn't mean that you cannot be expressive and talk about the things that you love doing or understanding or practicing. And the last one of the 13 universal principles is that everything is connected. And I do mean everything is connected. Everything you do, think, events that happen in your life, they had some meaning, they had some reason to be there, to give you some insight, to let you learn how to deal with certain emotions. I am a big believer that everything happens for a reason. So there it is. These are the 13 principles that I practice every day. And they gave me a lot of energy, clarity, compassion. If anyone has any questions about these principles, please put them in the comments below. And at some point, I will also be available to answer questions on a stream on Twitch. But I will definitely decide and post when that will happen. But for now, this was a video that I really wanted to make, to give a much more bigger overview. And I think hopefully they can help some of you. So this was it. My name is Herodias, and Mana and me will see you in the next video. Take care.